great childhood. We were very fortunate, very blessed, both my sister and I, to have the parents that we have still today. Down the road, as I grew older, there came a time to where my parents eventually experienced divorce. Going through that was a time of my life that I never thought was possible. It was a time that I didn't know how to navigate through, even though there was help available. So holding my feelings inside was something that kind of held me back. At that point, it's part of me. Not only was it alcohol, it was then marijuana, because it gave me an escape. It gave me the escape that I was longing for, because reality at the time was too hard for me to accept. At the end of my senior year, there was a internship. So during that time, I met a bunch of nice people, and then there was one gentleman that him and I just clicked. I remember this to this day. There was a time that in our back warehouse, I knew he was out there, and I had to ask him a question. And he had some tinfoil, a lighter, and he had a fentanyl patch. And I said, "What are you doing?" And he goes, "Well, I'm smoking this." I said, "Well, I don't know what it is." He goes, "Would you like to try it?" And I said, "What is it going to do to me?" Not knowing anything. That was my first experience with anything that was really hard, harder than the marijuana. And so it just, at that point, my addiction was in full force. Any opportunity that I had to use, I was taking it. When people ask me, "What's my drug of choice?" I said, "What do you have?" It's a progression. I mean, it's nothing short of that. I mean, it started with alcohol, ended with, IV use heroin. I was in the grips of a cunning, powerful, baffling, manipulative disease that I didn't really realize where and what it was taking me. I mean, I can look back on the wake of my disease's destruction was larger than I could have ever imagined. So, at that point now I'm using full force, full swing, and I'm trying to hide it to the best of my ability by being defensive, isolating myself, not surrounding myself, because, again, I don't want people to know. March 14th of 2015, I overdosed. And I can remember waking up, taking the largest gasp of air that I've ever felt my entire life. And I was just on a stretcher. My life was spared, by my higher power, who I call God. He wasn't done with me yet. He wasn't done with me, and I didn't understand that. My life at that point was totally involved around the chase. My main focus was figuring out how to get that next one. At this point, I could see the look of just sadness and just question, from my wife now, why are you doing this? Not only to yourself, but to me. I don't deserve this. And no, she doesn't. No one does. The loved ones that are surrounded by me, I've pushed so many people away. My disease has caused me to push a lot of people away. And they never deserve what I did to them. And I accept that. I accept full responsibility. The end of my using, I was miserable. I was not living, I was existing. So that night, I vividly remember this phone call, my wife calling my father and just telling him, "Look, this is where we're at. I'm done. I can't continue to do this." And my dad and I had the conversation, and he just told me, he says, "Joe, I love you more than anything. You're my son, and I love you with all my heart. However, as much as you think that it's bothering you or what you're going through," he said, "this has consumed me for far too long, years." Fortunately, to come to find out, it was years of both him and my mother and my step-parents just being consumed of wondering, are they going to get a phone call that their son is dead? And so it was a very humbling realization at that point. And so at that point, after I had that conversation with my father and my wife, and it was that what next, and she said, I'll give you another chance. I don't know why she did. I don't know why. I mean, and she is the most perfect person I've ever met in my entire life. And so that day, it was October 25th, 2015, was the last time that I used. At that point, I had come to the realization that what I was longing for years and years and years, I was never going to be satisfied. I could never get enough. I could never have enough. It was all consuming, all just totally involved, and I could never have enough. Things today are better than they ever could have been. I could have never imagined the life that I'm living and leading today. My family is by my side. I have some friends that I thought were going to never want to talk to me. I have them in my life. I have a son who's going to be 2 years old in November. And to know that he hasn't experienced his dad using is something that motivates me every day. I have a relationship with God that is unbreakable. Even at my highest of highs and my lowest of lows, I know that He has been there for me. My story is not done being written. There is hope. I have hope today. I have hope today for me and for others because it's working a program. It's getting help. It's not carrying the burdens of my past and knowing that that's my past. I don't live in the past. I live in the present. I keep it just for today. When all hope seems lost, when there's no one around, when there is nowhere to turn, don't ever give up hope.